Hello, welcome to WoFoy TV. Thank you for stopping by my channel today to watch my videos. I really appreciate the support that you guys have been giving me on my channel. Today we are going to continue the series on affidavit of support. Whenever you have to fill out the affidavit of support form, there is one important part of this whole process that you need to take into consideration. So the affidavit of support is to determine whether you have sufficient financial support for the new immigrant or to support this new immigrant that will be joining your household. And the way for the government to determine that is for you to use the Federal Poverty Guidelines. The Federal Poverty Guideline is a table that is released every year by the Department of Human Services. All right. And that table has, the household and then the minimum income that is needed to keep them above federal poverty levels. Okay. So for every household, there is a set amount that you guys should be making as combined income for the household to tell whether you guys are within the poverty bracket or not. So what the most current form that is available with the 2020 Federal Poverty Guideline table. 2021 will be coming up soon, but at the moment what is available is the 2020 Federal Poverty Guidelines. What I'm going to talk about will be three separate tables. So one is for the 48 contiguous states plus the District of Columbia, and then there's another for the state of Alaska, and then the last one will be for Hawaii. So there are different numbers. That's why these three tables are different. I suppose it will be for the different standard of living in these areas that makes them, stand out and unique. And another thing might be geographic locations too, that make those areas not a little expensive than the 48 continental USA or 48 contiguous states. All right, I'm going to go one by one through these three tables so that you will see the number for the 48 states plus District of Columbia, and that for Alaska, and that for Hawaii, so that you will see how all of them compare. I'm not going to go through all to the 8-member household, because the table goes to up to 8-member household, and then it gives like extra amount per any additional household member. So, but I'm just gonna mention like a few of them. I'll leave a link below the video so that you can go and check it out and see, the entire table and see how your household income compares for affidavit of support form filling, or just, if you want to see, you might not be involved in any immigration process, but you just want to know if your household income places you in a poverty income group or you are above. All right. So, and then the other thing that I wanted to add is that these numbers are like federal government estimate. So it doesn't mean that that is the amount of money that you need to survive there, because the standard of living in capital cities within states may be higher than the standard of living in rural towns within states. Okay, the standard of living in Austin is completely higher than the standard of living in say Corsicana, Texas, or Paris, Texas. So just keep that in mind. Don't use that as as a gauge for you to move to a place, but just that will let you know whether the federal government places you in a poverty group or not. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so first, if you're a single member household within any of the 48 contiguous states plus District of Columbia, then you need to make at least $12,760. Any number below that, then you are considered to be poor. But like I said, that number doesn't mean that if you live in California with $12,760 per year, it doesn't mean that you are not poor. So I'm just saying it's kind of all about perspective, and it's relative to a location where you live within the state. All right. The number for Alaska, if you are a single member household living in Alaska, then you need to make $15,950. Any amount less than that, you are considered poor. Remember, if you live anywhere within the 48 states, 48 contiguous states, and District of Columbia, it's $12,760. But then if it's Alaska, it's got to be $15,950. If you live in the state of Hawaii and you're a single member household, then you need to make $14,680. $14,680. Remember, Alaska is the highest, then to Hawaii, and then the next will be the contiguous 48 states plus the District of Columbia. So, depending on when you live at 3 groups of locations, it will determine whether you're poor or not. If you're a 2-member household within any of the 48 contiguous states plus Washington, D.C. or District of Columbia, then you need to make $17,240. It doesn't mean that, once again, it doesn't mean that if you make $17,240 with your wife in Washington, D.C., you are living good. No. It's just that the federal government doesn't see you as poor. You might be barely surviving, but it's not poor. All right? If you live in Alaska, for a 2-person household, then you need to make $21,550. But if you're in Hawaii and you're a 2-member household, then you need to make $19,830. So, like I said, Alaska is always a little bit more, and then Hawaii is also more than if you live anywhere on the, on the continental United States, or if you live anywhere in the 48 contiguous states plus District of Columbia. All right. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go through all of them till the 8th member, but I'm going to go to the 8th member and then go straight to the additional member after 8. So that y'all see how the numbers compare. To live in any of the 48 states, contiguous states plus District of Columbia, if you are an 8-member household, you need $44,120. If you are an 8-member household living in the state of Alaska, then you need to make $55,150. $55,150. Remember, the other states, contiguous 48 states, that was $44,120. But in Alaska, it's $55,150. So let's look at Hawaii. In Hawaii, you have to make $50,730 for an 8-member household. So that is how far the table goes. But any additional household member, so if you live in the 48 contiguous states plus District of Columbia, after the 8-member household, any additional person, whether it's a baby or it's a grandma, you add $4,480. So if you're filling out the affidavit of support for someone in your household, you have a, like, say, 10-member household, then you go up to the 8-member number, which is $44,120. Then you add $4,480 per person. For the 2 additional people, you multiply that by $4,480. You multiply the two people by that number, and then you add it to your total number. That is when you're filling the affidavit of support. That is how you're supposed to do it. If you live in the state of Alaska and you have, say, 10-member household, then you need to take the 8-member household number, which is $55,150, and then the extra amount that you need to add per person is $5,600. So that means that you will multiply the 2 extra household member by $5,600, and then you add to the $55,150. All right. And then if you live in the state of Hawaii, then you take, and you have a 10-member household, you go to the 8-member household number, $50,730. If you live in an 8-member household in the state of Hawaii. So you have a 10-member household, add $5,150. So you multiply 2 by $5,150 for those 2 extra people, and then you add it to the $50,730 to determine your the household, income for a 10-member household. All right. So that is how you do the calculation to determine, your whether you are above, using the Federal Poverty Guidelines table for 2020. You do the same calculation for, whether it's 2021, 2022 years back. You do the same thing. It's just that the numbers are going to be different. And as this year with the pandemic and everything going on, I'm sure the numbers are going to be very different from previous years. So just other thing to add, since we're talking about affidavit of support. So whenever you determine your household number, you add the current members of your household. So let's say that you live alone. So when you live alone, you're not going to do a single member household, because you need to add the intending immigrant to your household. So when you look at a table, don't ever use one. You only use one if you're petitioning for yourself. And like I've stated in my other videos, if you're self-petitioning, most of the time you may not, if you look at the scenarios and you see whichever one applies to you, you may not even need to do affidavit of support. But whenever you are counting the table, you count yourself as one. Any other person in your household, whether a baby or a grandma or a grandpa, you need to count all those individual people, human beings in the household. And then you add the intending immigrants and any other people who are coming with the immigrant on this application. So let's say that you are a husband or you are a wife and you file to bring your spouse and your 2 children. Then you live alone. You don't have anybody, added on your household. Then it would just be you, your husband or your wife, and those 2 kids. So you have 4-member household. And then you look at the table and you see how much you need to make to show that you are not poor to the government. And another thing to bear in mind would be that if you have ever sponsored anybody, to come to the United States or to, adjust their status, then you need to include all those people within your income, this household number calculation for affidavit of support. So let's say that I sponsored like a family, like a man and his wife and 2 kids, for them to come to the U.S. At this point, they are not citizens. They are all, green card holders. So guess what? If they are not citizens and they haven't worked for 10 years or the 40 qualifying credits of work in the United States, and none of the kids have attained citizenship, or none of the people that you put on the application has attained citizenship or has the 40 qualifying quarters of work credit in the United States, then you need to include them. So those 4 family members that I sponsored before, now I am filing for my husband and my child. So guess what? It will be me, my husband, my child. We are 3. And then you add those 4 family members that you sponsored who have now become citizens. So until those people have become citizens or have worked for 40 qualifying quarters, which will be 10 years of work in the United States, you are still going to count them on this application. Until when they become citizens, they fall off. And this is only for this process. It doesn't mean that you're going to put them on your taxes. No, this is just for immigration purposes. All right. So that was the one thing that I wanted to, add on there to explain to you when it comes to the affidavit of support. But so guys, this is where I will end it. This video, I will make it in Tree. And so if there were things that I couldn't explain well, you check out the Tree video, okay? I will, try to explain it better. But guys, I thank you so much for the support, the love, the kindness. You liking, sharing my videos, subscribing. You are so amazing. And I love you guys. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, share on your WhatsApp, on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, guys, so that my message can spread, because I'm trying to educate our people, educate us to know, the process you need to go through, so that, if you're asking somebody to help sponsor your family and the person says no, so that you will not take it personal, because if they have this record, it's still sitting there until you become a citizen. Now you will understand that when somebody says no, I cannot sponsor you, because so you don't take it personal. So the more you know, the better the more you know, the better you will know how to go through the process and navigate through the whole system. All right, so guys, if you have any comments, please put down below the video, or you can join my Facebook group called Moving to America /WoFoy TV. This page, we talk about immigration stuff. I share tips. If you have any questions about immigration, please, you can ask. And if I know, I will answer to the best of my ability. If I don't know, I will tell you. If your case has been referred to an immigration lawyer, please go ahead and deal with a lawyer. I'm not an immigration lawyer. Everything that I'm telling you is based on my personal opinion, my personal interpretation of the immigration process, immigration rules and procedures. All right. You can check out my Facebook page, WoFoy TV. That is the official Facebook page. That's the only one. When you go there, the videos that I post here on YouTube, I'll move them all back there so that you can watch my videos there and, comment, share with your friends and families. And like I said, I'm going to make a Tree version of this video, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye.